At the beginning of Parshat Ve'era, the Torah says that the Israelites could not hear Moses' message of redemption on account of the broken spirit and hard labor. Which makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because when life is beating you up so much with slavery, how could you possibly be open to a message of freedom and redemption? The Sfat Emet takes this question a step further and asks, can a person be a prophet if there's nobody there to listen to the prophecy? Which represents the age-old question of, if a tree falls in the woods, without someone there to hear it, does it actually make a sound? So that if a person is representing the voice of God, but nobody will actually listen to that person, well, is she actually a prophet? So what is the point of Moses trying to share words of Torah and prophecy with the Israelites if they're not yet ready to hear him? So rather, instead of trying to teach them Torah, Moses has a specific job, which is to try to prepare them to hear words of Torah. And this is specifically why the Israelites do not receive the Ten Commandments in Egypt, but only once they reach Mount Sinai. So what is it that happens? What is it that happens between this first time that Moses tries speaking to them and the moment they're standing there at Mount Sinai? What transformative experience happens? The Sfat Emet explains that what happens is the Israelites go through this transformation that empties them of all the noise, of all the negativity, of all the thoughts that are getting in the way of them being able to hear the words of Torah. So imagine, if you will, a vessel. You have a cup. That cup is filled with coffee, but you want to fill it with wine. Well, the dark, muddy waters of coffee will keep that wine from actually filling up the cup, right? The first thing you need to do is empty out that cup before you can fill it with the wine. That's exactly what Moses needs to do. He needs to get rid of all the negativity from inside of the Israelites before he can fill them up with the rich, joyful flavor of wine. This happens through the act of the Exodus. It's only once the Israelites are able to leave Egypt behind, once they go through that Red Sea and watch the Egyptians drown in the waters behind them, only then can they really accept the fact that they have some sense of freedom. And only then are they able to open themselves up to words of Torah. Now, as much as this applies to the Israelites 3,000 years ago, this relates to us every single day, right here, right now. In fact, this is the reason we have Shabbat. Every week, Shabbat comes around as an opportunity for us to empty ourselves, to clear out all the noise from the week behind, to not worry about work, to not worry about finances, to not worry about this and that or whatever, but just allow ourselves to be present. Right? We don't cook on Shabbat, ideally. Right? We do all that before, so that when Shabbat comes in, we can just be fully present in the moment and not have to worry about anything. We don't have to worry about money. We don't have to worry about cooking. We don't have to worry about cleaning. We don't have to worry about going here or going there. We just get to worry about being present with our family, with our friends, with our community, with ourselves, with God. Shabbat is this incredible moment in time that allows us to empty the vessels that is our body, so that we can fill it with words of Torah, so that we can focus on what's truly important and recalibrate ourselves. And while this happens once a week on Shabbat, this happens every single morning with the Shema. The word Shema means listen, but it also means to understand. And how can you understand if your mind is preoccupied with so many other things? So the rabbis of old, going back 2,000 years ago, they would actually go to the synagogue every morning and sit there for an hour to meditate before they would say the Shema, before they would say the Amidah. Now today we do this through Psukei de Zimra, like verses of song. We try to say these same ideas. God is great. God saves us. God's the creator. We say these words over and over and over again. This is the Jewish version of a mantra that tries to clear our heads of all of our immediate needs, all of our worldly needs, and focus on something greater, something bigger, something outside of ourselves. And if that's not enough, the last part of Psukei de Zimra is Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea. Right? Ozi v'zimatja, Nicha mocha. These words come from Shirat Hayam. These are the words that the Israelites sang once they got through that Red Sea. And so we say this every morning as a way to remind ourselves that every new day is another new opportunity for redemption. It's another chance to put all the noise and problems from the day before behind us and face the new day as a blank slate. And only after we've said these words are we finally ready to say the words of Shema, to finally hear the truly important messages of Torah. The Sfat Emet is unbelievably powerful and wise in teaching us the importance of being empty and clear in order to be able to hear words of Torah. That had the Israelites not been so preoccupied with their hard work and with their broken spirits, then maybe they could have heard Moses and they could have merited receiving the Ten Commandments while still in Egypt. But they couldn't. And the same for us. So this day, this week, as we go forward with this message, I want to ask you how you will go about emptying yourself out, clearing out that vessel which is your body, getting rid of all the junk, all the noise, all the negativity, all the problems, all the sorrow, all the worries. Just get rid of it all, at least for a moment, so that you can allow yourselves to hear words of Torah, so that you can recalibrate yourself, focusing on something which is truly important, something that will truly give meaning to your life as you move forward, something that will give you hope and a promise of a better tomorrow. That is the message of Va'era. Shabbat Shalom.